Hi there, my name is Ash Gravity, and I am a queer witch, an astrologer, and a flower essence creator, coming to you with a weekly astrology forecast for February 8th to 14th, 2021. So, you're at the beginning of this video, and I just finished watching it, and there's some really weird stuff happening with my audio. I've tried to figure out what's going on with my microphone, but I'm pretty much just going to chalk it up to Mercury retrograde at this point in time. So, sorry the audio was a little wonky this time. I will maybe get it figured out by next week. I'm not super hopeful about that, but we'll find out. I'll definitely get it figured out by the beginning of March. So, bear with me for this forecast with a little bit of weird audio. I'm really excited to talk to you about some of the astrology for the week ahead because we have some really exciting astrology happening this week, actually, including the new moon in Aquarius that's happening on Thursday and the first of 3 squares between Saturn and Uranus happening at the end of this week. And before we get into more about the astrology for the week ahead, I have a few announcements about what's going on for my business right now. The first is that all of the Speak with Confidence, or both of the Speak with Confidence flower essence products, the Flower Essence Blend and the Flower Essence Spritzer, are both on sale for 15% off until the end of Mercury retrograde, which is February 20th. And I also have a Speak with Confidence box that has the Flower Essence Blend, the Spritzer, and a calendula flower essence, which is wonderful for having your communication well received by other people. So if that's something that you're interested in, trying out flower essences and trying out some of my flower essences, you can find the link to the apothecary page on my website and the link below this video. And I also have a group of people who meet up and talk about astrology on a monthly basis, and we're meeting this Thursday, February 11th, on the new moon in Aquarius. And if you're interested in talking more about your own chart and how the transits that I'm discussing in this video or in other weekly videos are going to impact you, then you might want to check out Star Circle and come join us. It's a pretty chill environment for people who are interested in learning more about astrology and how to apply it to their day-to-day life. You definitely don't need to be an expert in astrology to come. Just come with an interest in learning and meeting up with some other astro enthusiasts. So let's go ahead and get into the astrology for the week ahead. Like I said, this week is probably going to feel a little bit like a breath of fresh air or a push towards some new fresh air energy, new ideas, new approaches to doing things. All of that is very much supported in the week ahead. While challenges and limitations still exist, of course, we are also likely to receive some good or optimistic news this week that will have us feeling positive about the future. And I know that that is much needed for everyone. The process of reflection that we've been in since January 14th, with Mercury moving through its retrograde cycle, has cleared the way for some new ideas and inspiration to come through. Our new ideas can receive a boost around the new moon in Aquarius that's happening this week when Venus and Jupiter make an auspicious conjunction, bringing us that good, lucky feeling. For the first time since November 2019, these two planets, the two most beneficial planets in astrology, will be meeting up with each other, bringing us something to feel positive about. Of course, Mercury is still retrograde, so there might be some timeline barriers to achieving what we want, but it's okay to allow yourself to feel a little hopeful under this energy. We start the day on Monday with the moon in Capricorn, and Mercury makes its inferior conjunction to the sun on this day, marking the beginning of a new cycle or a way of thinking or a new idea. Mercury, like I said, has been retrograde since January 14th, and we've been reviewing information in our commitments and our groups of people that we're involved with and how we're showing up on the internet. And now it's time to take a deeper look at things so that we can start to move forward with some gradual structure, gradual process. It's not like we have this new idea and we're taking action on it immediately, but we've moved through some of the reflection in order order to actually have things pick up a little bit of speed, especially after Mercury stations direct later this month on February 20th. By Wednesday, February 10th, the moon will already be in Aquarius, and Mercury in Aquarius as well will be trine to the North Node. So the things that we've been thinking about and reflecting on that have led us to our new idea, our new inspiration, are on a path forward, and we are finding some forward momentum. Mars in Taurus is making it difficult to take the timely action that maybe we would like to, but there's also that sense of there being kind of a fire under our butt to get it started. And we're working on a timeline that's a little bit slower and more plotting in order to make sure that we're getting things done the way that they need to. But we are still making progress, even with all of the fixed energy, even though we're feeling like we're maybe not making as much progress as we would like to. The reality is that we're probably making a lot more progress than we think we are. Thursday, February 11th is the lucky day, and it's actually on Thursday, the day of Jupiter, which is one of the luckier days in the week. And I'm feeling really positive about this. So Venus makes an exact conjunction to Jupiter and Aquarius on this day of Jupiter, Thursday, February 11th. And these are the two most beneficial planets in astrology. They're making an exact conjunction for the first time since November 24th, 2019, and they're also closely aligned with Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, which we've just been talking about. So if you have a wish that you want to put out into the world, if you have a wish that you want to whisper to someone on another plane or even in your material reality, this is a really, really auspicious time to make this kind of request. And actually, I would say even with Mercury being retrograde, that access to another realm is even more present than it usually is. And this exact conjunction is just hours before the new moon in Aquarius, so it's making this new moon particularly fortunate for setting some kind of intention. Of course, remembering that things might not happen exactly how you think they will, or they might not happen in the timeline that you want them to. It's still a really positive time to put that energy out there. And you also might receive some good news around the new moon in Aquarius, particularly in regards to something from the past. Something might need to be reworked in the negotiation process, but if you do receive positive news, it's still okay to feel happy about it and feel that rush of excitement rather than getting down about how nothing is working out this year. There are probably limits to how good things can get, but we all need a win, so take it where you can get it. Even though you might not be able to take action immediately, good things will still come to those who put in the work with some patience. And I've talked a little bit about how there is still this square from Mars and Taurus that's happening. So while there is this new beginning and there's maybe some limitations, one of the other things that could happen is that there are some financial limitations to achieving the goal that you have in mind, or also there's some kind of collective movement of more traditional kind of ideas that's getting pushed or upset, and that's bringing some challenges to the new way forward. So we might see some of that come up this week as well. But I also feel positive about this with Uranus and Saturn having this conversation about what will the future look like. And I'll talk more about that next week. I also have talked about that recently on my Instagram at Ash Gravity. If you're interested in following me over there, I post little updates on the astrology, the meaning of the planets, and that's something that I've heard a lot of people talk about, is that they kind of feel like they get the signs and they kind of maybe get at least some of the idea of what the houses are in astrology, but the actual meaning of the planets on their own, a planet not in a sign, just what the planets symbolize themselves, is something that people don't always quite grasp. So like I said earlier, we're doing Star Circle, we're meeting up and talking about some of these ideas, and we'll go in more depth on on that in Star Circle if that's of interest to people. So if you want to learn more about astrology with me, that's the best way to do it right now. On Friday, the moon will move into Pisces, and we're still feeling that kind of happy, jubilant energy from the new moon in Aquarius. And we have some benefits from that Venus-Jupiter conjunction as the week goes on. So on Saturday, February 13th, Venus makes an exact conjunction to Mercury retrograde, and work or financial matters might get an initial go-ahead with your idea, but the benefits and the work won't be fully put into place until probably later in April. So you're maybe getting some of that good news, especially in regards to creativity or money, but there's still some stuff that needs to get worked out for it to actually move through and be put into action. And then on Sunday, February 14th, Mercury is retrograde and conjunct to Jupiter, the other benefic planet. And this is when your vision for how you want to move forward, you're maybe reworking some things, but there's still this overall feeling of optimism and positivity around the editing process. And then Venus in Aquarius will also make a sextile to the North Node in Gemini on Sunday. And this also brings that feeling of optimism on the way that we're moving forward and having the resources available to us to make what we want to achieve happen. So it's really exciting. I would also recommend that since Jupiter is making its exact conjunction to Mercury for the second time this year, that this is a really great time to reflect on the ways you feel justice has actually been served since January 11th. Make a list of the ways that you would like to see justice served by March 4th, 2021, and make this a ritual. Show some gratitude for the ways in which you think success has been achieved or justice has been served, and also what you would like to see, how you would like to envision the future. And part of the reason why I'm bringing this up is we're just days before the first of 3 squares that are happening between Saturn and Aquarius and Uranus and Taurus. So this is moving more into the astrology of next week. But these 2 planets are going to be square to each other and creating that momentum and creating that push for a really new and revolutionary way of organizing our society forward, and we're all part of that ideation process. So as we're moving up to that first square and we have this really auspicious new moon in Aquarius, it's a really great time to make a spell with the waxing crescent moon in Aries and ignite our intention for the world that we want to see moving ahead. Thanks so much for tuning into this forecast. Once again, super sorry about the weird audio this time around, but I really do hope that you have some positive things come through this week and that you celebrate when the time is right. Have a great week, and if you want to make sure you get updates for when I put out my new weekly videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel or subscribe to my email list in the description below this video, and I will see you around next week.